Good morning and welcome to the Wednesday, September 24th, 2025 update, where I lose 50 pounds for 50 states and you also get to see some of the news from the country with regard to 2026 elections. Some things that you don't get anyplace else, and for those things about like redistricting, I boil it down. So this video is going to cover redistricting, hunger strike, the Fulton County, Georgia shenanigans, the New Jersey governor race, because it has a lot to do, I think, with the Senate race next year. And as a Naval Academy graduate and Navy retiree, I have some insight that I haven't seen anywhere else on any of the other news shows. And then the Red, Wine, and Blue, which is a very liberal organization, which is important for us to know about. Let's talk redistricting right now. Utah is fighting internally with regard to how to redistrict, because they have to because of court rulings, and they'll probably lose one Republican seat, but maybe not. California is going to vote in November. It'll probably pass for their redistricting. Texas has redistricted already. Missouri has redistricted already. Other states are looking at possibly doing it. And the big one is Florida. And we, because I live in the free state of Florida, will be doing redistricting in early 2026. Bottom line on redistricting, somewhere minimum of 5 and maybe as many as 8 to 10 additional Republican-controlled seats. And behind me is the official Hungry Strike for America sign that has a 10th star up there for losing 10 pounds. Remember, I don't know exactly what the connection is between me losing 50 pounds and us retaining the House and getting a bigger majority in the Senate, but for some reason I connect the two, and by God, I want to have the Republicans maintain control in 2026. And one of my rewards for losing a pound, besides improved health, is that I get to color in another state. So here's my official map of the United States with the 10 states colored in. The 10th one is South Dakota. And how do I choose the state to color in? It all depends on how much by percentage did they vote for President Trump in the last election. South Dakota is number 10 at 64.4% for President Trump. And now we discuss their senators and congressmen. First, we have Senator John Thune, who we all know as the Senate Majority Leader. Interestingly, when he was first elected in 2004, he beat then-Senator Tom Daschle, who happened to also have been the Senate Majority Leader for the Democrats. Interesting factoid about Senator John Thune: his father was a Navy pilot in World War II, flew off the carrier Intrepid, which is currently located in New York City, and he shot down 4 Japanese airplanes. Senator Thune is not up for re-election in 2026. Senator Mike Rounds, however, is up for re-election next year. In keeping with the World War II theme, let me mention that his actual first name is Marion. He goes by his middle name. Marion was his uncle's name, and his uncle was killed in World War II in the Pacific. I do not expect any difficulty for Senator Rounds to be re-elected next year. South Dakota has one House district. Their current congressman is Congressman Dusty Johnson. He is not planning on running for re-election next year because he wants to run for governor. Remember, Kristi Noem got appointed to Trump's cabinet. She had been the governor of South Dakota. So the lieutenant governor became governor, Governor Larry Roden. At this point in time, there are several people interested in the governor and Congress positions. Obviously, a lot more to follow next year. Let's talk about Fulton County, Georgia. Just to bring you back up to speed, was years ago in the previous elections, had all kinds of problems. I believe they were doing shenanigans, and because of them, there was a lot of issues with regard to the 2020 election, which resulted in Democrat senators being elected, more congressmen for the Democrats, and Biden getting elected. I think they had a lot to do with that. The Republicans are attempted to put 2 people on the election board in Fulton County. Attempted meaning they're doing the right thing, but the Fulton County commissioners, which are Democrat-controlled, refused to authorize the Republican nominees to the election board. The Republicans sued them in court because the state law says you gotta put them on. Whoever the 2 major parties are in the state, they give their candidates, and the commission is just supposed to put them on the board. Well, the commission refuses to. The Republicans went to court, got the judge to agree with the Republicans, and he held the commissioners, the Democrat commissioners, in contempt at $10,000 a day fine. But then they said they were going to appeal it, and he said, fine. Well, no pun intended. So he said, okay, we're not going to fine you right now until the results of the appeal is done. The Republicans then went to the Georgia Court of Appeals and requested an expedited review or emergency review or something like that. And the Georgia Court of Appeals said no. And the reason why they said no was the Democrat commissioners had yet to file an appeal. So where it stands is nothing is happening. I don't think the commissioners are going to file an appeal in the near future, because as soon as they do, I'm sure the Georgia Court of Appeals will rule against them. I don't know why the judge hasn't re-implemented the $10,000 fine, and he should make them pay up and put them in jail if they don't pay up. And the reason for it is elections are presently occurring. Right now, elections just occurred. So elections are occurring in Fulton County without a proper election board. They are organizing for next year's election without a proper election board. This is morally, ethically, and legally wrong. This is something that the Republicans need to jump all over. The press should be involved. I'm the only press that seems to be involved right now. So if you live in Georgia or you care about who gets elected as senators next year, because one of them is up for re-election, and the president in 4 years or whatever. So if you live in Georgia, a call to action. Get your media to go and ask questions. Get your legislators, state senators to get involved. This needs to be resolved fast. There's a lot of problems in Fulton County, and the people that have been nominated by the Republicans are good people who understand elections and how they can be, stolen, okay? So the Republicans need to get on that election board. Then there's New Jersey. Some interesting news coming out of New Jersey, which has a lot to do with the governor stuff this year, obviously, but I think also impacts next year's Senate race. Senator Cory Booker is up for re-election next year. It's a good opportunity for Republicans. And the opportunity for the Republicans just got a whole lot better. It just so happens that I'm a Naval Academy graduate and a retiree of the United States Navy. The reason for the delay in this video is that I made a separate video about the New Jersey race. You see the thumbnail here. And the link is in the description. In that video, I provided a lot of information, details about the 1992 cheating scandal that came to a head in 1994. Interestingly, brand new information after that video is that her husband is a Naval Academy graduate and also was involved in the scandal. So bottom line, there are 3 things to take from that video. Number 1, the honor code at the United States Naval Academy does not require any midshipman to turn in any other midshipman. In this way, the Naval Academy is different than West Point or the Air Force Academy. So unless there was something unique about this investigation and how they conducted it, this statement doesn't make any sense. However, she was punished for something. She was not allowed to graduate with the class, so there was something there. Next, she complains that the Republicans wrongfully got her records from the National Archives. That is incorrect. The Republicans did everything correct. The National Archives just didn't redact some personal information. But there is no problem that the Republicans did. They didn't use that personal information. So statements by any Democrat, including Mrs. Sherrill, that the Republicans did illegally get her documents is patently misleading, or even worse. And number 3 deals with the Republican candidate. My recommendation is that he be quiet about this. Let places like the New York Post take care of figuring out this problem. Just as a reminder, the Democrat candidate served her country as a helicopter pilot. She served in uniform. So go ahead and watch the video that's linked in the description. And oh, by the way, on that note, I have a correction with regard to the 7th District in Tennessee. I thought they were going to have an election in October. Well, they are, but it's a primary. The actual election to fill the vacant seat, previously held by Congressman Green, who resigned earlier this year right after the big beautiful bill was passed with his help. They're going to be doing their election in December in Tennessee. Now, red, wine, and blue. I signed up there because I started seeing things about it, and I was curious about the umbrella organization called Act Blue. Here's part of a recent email that they sent me. They is actually red, wine, and blue. So see the top of this says, why fascists fear teachers. So anybody, as far as they're concerned, who believes that parents should be involved with the education of their children is a fascist. Red, Wine, and Blue is an organization that I think provides a place for people to get together to do things that they wouldn't do if they actually had their thinking caps on. Here's a picture for red, white, and blue. Now, here's a picture from the Charlie Kirk Memorial service that occurred in my little town. And here's a different one with a different perspective. Which group would you rather be part of? Red, white, and blue, where they call people fascists if they want to be involved with parenting, or the Republican conservative movement, which is in favor of love, joy. Seems like an easy answer to me. So if you're a member of red, white, and blue, I have an alternative for you. Thank you again for supporting me by watching this. Just the number of views helps a lot. As I lose more weight, it's going to get harder, just as the states we come across in the discussions will become harder to get those states to vote for Republican. There's a lot of similarities between losing 50 pounds for 50 states and getting a bigger majority in the House and a bigger majority in the Senate. A lot of similarities. God bless you. God bless President Trump and his administration. God bless the United States of America. Thank you. See you next week. Oh, and by the way, liking the video and subscribing would be great too.